Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the SUP.VC's next event. Today, we are going to talk about the customer experiences for real businesses. And I have two very valuable guests today. One of them is Mr. SUP.VC, who is the communications manager at the Coca Cola company. And my next guest is joining from abroad. His name is Özkan Demir, and he is the CEO of Pisano. Eshat Bey, please tell a little bit about yourself. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you, David. Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be part of this interesting meeting that will soon start. My name is Elshad Farzaliyev. I'm the Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Coca Cola company in the region. I've been with the Coca Cola for almost 7 years now. I'm responsible for areas such as media, government relations, partnerships, communications, innovations, and things like that.
Thank you very much. And Özkan Bey, welcome to the event. Please tell a little bit about yourself to our audience.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you very much, Michelle. This is a fantastic opportunity. It's my pleasure and honor to be here today with yourself and Elshad Bey and all the audience. My name is Özkan. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Pisano. Pisano is an experience management platform that helps businesses to manage their customer and employee experiences. I believe we're going to talk a lot about that one in coming minutes. We've been established Pisano back in 2015 June. Since then, we had a good growth phase, and then we do have currently over 100 customers in more than 30 countries. And I'm happy to, again, share more and guide the conversation.
Thank you so much, Özkan, for the warm introduction. Yes, as you already mentioned about Pisano, let's just go ahead and start with this. So I'm really curious, could you please tell me a little bit about your experience with Pisano? I mean, how did you come up with the idea and your journey overall?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Again, the whole concept started with the customer experience module first. So in our daily lives, we are also consumers too. You know, we buy t-shirts, we buy mobile phones, we get hungry and we eat some food, drink some soda drinks. Back in 2015, we were on a trip with my partners, the co-founders of the business in Italy. There's a place called Cinque Terre. So at that place, there are some 5 small villages that you follow on. It's a very touristical place in Tuscany. So we were doing that trip and we were in the 5th one, which is Monte Rosso. And when we arrived there, we were hungry and we said, like, well, we need to eat something, and we're not really knowledgeable about the places there. And by that time, there was Booking.com, TripAdvisor, Yelp. They were having their best moments. They were just booming for those businesses. And we just checked, and there was #1 restaurant at TripAdvisor. We said, let's go there. And there was a line, there was a queue starting from the train station. So we didn't bother about the line, and we started to go for that restaurant. And when we arrived there, it's literally like the size of my desk. It's a very small cabin where they're providing some seafood. And we understood that the bad thing is, like, the line, the queue starting from the train station was actually for that restaurant. And when we arrived there, like, I usually don't like waiting on the line and queues. And I said, like, there should be something interesting. We went back and we waited a lot on the line, and we arrived to the restaurant. We were almost the last ones. So we had a few chat with the restaurant owner, and they said, like, well, I said, what's happening? Like, why these people, all these people are choosing yourself? He said that there's a new platform called TripAdvisor. People read the comments there, and then they prefer us. So that the conversation continued. He even visited myself in Turkey. I hosted him. And then, you know, we talked a lot about it. But if you think about the flow of that information, I didn't think that it's right. Because, you know, the restaurant owner or like the business owner, it can be a bank, it can be a hotel, it can be a retailer. They are the ones taking the risk, making the investment, providing the service. And then if you think about the customer is the one really paying for that service and receiving that service. And if you think about all that service chain, those third-party platforms, they don't have it all. Like they're not providing any service, or they're not providing, they are not even aware that like those experiences that you shared in those platforms as reviews are correct. So thinking about that one, we also found out that like when you are making such decisions, it's very important to see those reviews. And actually, you know, there are, let's say 3-4 restaurants or hotels or again, retail shops on that street, on the same street. They send you to A and not B to B, C, and D. So at that point, we realized that actually they are the owners of the hotel. They don't provide anything. They don't provide any services. They don't make any investment, and they get a good commission out of it. So we said that this isn't right. If I would be a restaurant owner, if I would be a franchisor owner, if I would be a retailer, I would like to get those reviews to myself to improve my internal processes, to provide it to my customers. We said that these restaurant owners or business owners needs to connect to their customers. So that is how we come up with Pisano idea. So we didn't know that there was a concept that is customer experience management. We didn't really know how big is the space. And literally the first feedback in the history is before Christ to 3000 before Christ. So that is that old, whenever basically human being started to get some service. So we found ourselves being one of the technology providers resolving that huge problem.
Great. Actually, that's a very interesting story. And the idea actually is a very, I mean, it naturally came out. It's an organic idea. And I guess that's one of the reasons why Pisano is so successful today. Özkan, you mentioned that we are all consumers in our daily basis. And talking about, I mean, consumers. And when we talk about consumers, I mean, one of the brands that comes into mind is Coca Cola, because it's been around for more than 100 years. And so my question is to Eshat Bey, talking about customer experience, how do you define this consumer experience at Coca-Cola? And why do you think it's very important?
Thank you for that question, Vishal. Let me start by saying that, first of all, Coca-Cola, as you rightly pointed, is one of the longest living businesses and the brands in the world. It is also one of the most loved brands in the world. It started in 1886 with a pharmacist, John Pemberton, offering this drink for the first time in Atlanta, Georgia. And in the next few decades, this brand was loved very much in the US, and then it went beyond the US borders. And after Second World War, Coca-Cola was present in most of the countries in the world. One of the biggest reasons for the success of Coca-Cola is first, its great refreshing taste. Second, it is the consumers. It is how Coca-Cola listens to its consumers, loves learning, finding out what consumer wants. So this consumer experience is what contributes to the success of the brand, of the company. So talking about defining consumer experience, we have to point to things. The consumer experience, when we talk about Coca-Cola, is the product that consumer gets and what he feels after consuming the product. Of course, traditionally, the brands and companies, they pay attention to such moments like consideration of the product, the attraction point, discovery moment, the conversion, loyalty. So these are very important factors. But when you sum up this, what matters is that how the consumer gets the product and what he feels after consuming it, because these two factors contribute to the loyalty, to the brand love, and to what extent these products and brands meet the expectations of the consumers. Specifically with Coca-Cola, the consumer experience is quite a long journey. It starts from the cooler, where cold Coca-Cola is available. So from enjoying the cold, refreshing Coca-Cola directly from Coca-Cola cooler to taking pride for Coca-Cola's community giving projects, this is a long, meaningful journey where our consumer respects our brand and loves our brand. Also, talking about consumer experience, of course, as I said, this is quite a broad concept, but in today's world, there are also three elements that contribute to the decision-making process of consumers. There are three important factors that help consumers decide on the purchase. So these are brand love, the quality of the product, and reputation. I have to say that the brand love has a bigger share in this decision-making process. Then comes the quality and the reputation. The studies show that actually consumers, when they know that the brand stands for something meaningful, they are ready to pay even more for such kind of brands. So this is, in short, how we look at consumer experience in the example of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, we will come back to brand loyalty, but before moving to brand loyalty, we talked about this customer experience platforms, and I want to come back to Pisano. We have already listened to Özkan's journey about this. So I want to deep dive into like a little bit more and ask more about like for people who are not familiar with Pisano, what value do you create for your customers, and what problem do you solve?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a fantastic question right after what SUP.VC said. So first of all, what we do believe in Pisano is like everything starts with a quick question, and then it evolves with continuous feedback. As SUP.VC said, we believe that best products, best services are always developed with the customer, because at the end of the day, they are the ones purchasing or buying that product. So starting from that one, as SUP.VC said, and I said like very briefly, every customer transaction, every customer engagement has a journey behind. So it always starts with an awareness of a need. I'm thirsty, I need to get some drink. I'm hungry, I need to eat food. My phone is broken, I need to get one. I need to get a gift for my girlfriend, or like, you know, my kid just graduated from high school. So then consumers or customers go through a research phase. They look for, as SUP.VC said, a few criteria, looking for prices, looking for availability, looking for the taste. And again, depending from product and services, they make their research and they evaluate that product and service. They purchase it. Then maybe, again, depending on product and service, there are various stages, but they use the product. There is the product experience. And then if they require, there is customer service experience too. So throughout that journey of a customer, there are a lot of touch points today due to the behavior, omni-channel behavior of that customers. There's a lot of channels that the businesses and the customers are engaging, like their mobile application, like their loyalty system, like physical branches or stores, like websites, like online transactions, social media, contact center. So at all of these channels, businesses provide such experiences to those customers. And all of those engagements, businesses would like to understand how, like what kind of experiences they provided to that customer, so that they can provide, you know, at the end of the day, today, customer experience, what makes or breaks a business. So they would like to learn what they provided to those customers and how they can improve that. So in order to do that, Pisano provides an advanced integrated platform to enable businesses to understand, listen and understand first the experiences of those customers at any channel at the moment throughout their journey. And then there is also a resolution area where, you know, if there is a request from customer, if there is a complaint, that they can resolve those feedbacks. And more interestingly, we can use that data, we can use that experience data. Remember the first story that I shared with the same consumer to attract more, to sell more to them, to market better our products and services. So it's a full-fledged like end-to-end experience management projects that we're doing with businesses. the value add that we provide to them. So again, the core markets that we're target is the Central and Eastern Europe, Balkans, CIS, Turkey, Middle East. So in those regions, most of the businesses are recently starting their experience management studies. So we do have an experience of making these projects in more than 30 countries, in like more than 12 industries. Most of the very well known, including Coca Cola, not in Azerbaijan yet, but in some other countries, are Pisano customers already implementing it end to end to get the best out of their experience management investments. So we share that experience with them with a very highly technological platform supported by a lot of AI technology inside, so that they can get the best out of their customer experience investments.
Thank you so much, Özkan. Yes, in today's world, as you mentioned, even after the invention of social media, the customer feedback, customer experience is very important because it's something that decides if your business will grow or it will fail. And based on these factors, I want to ask a question to Eshat Bey about their experience. So we are talking about this whole consumer experience and stuff like this. At Coca-Cola, how do you measure this experience, and how do you manage them? Actually, that's the second question. So if you could tell us a little bit more about your experience at Coca-Cola, how do you measure and manage the customer experience?
Thank you, Vishal. This is a great question, and I would love to build on what Özkan Bey just explained on the importance of listening to consumers. By the way, many people, when they say customers, they mean the consumer, whereas for Coca-Cola, I think it would be interesting for some of the audience to know that the consumer is the one who buys our product versus customer is the one that sells our product. So we regard this as consumers. How do we measure and manage the consumer experience? Of course, Coca-Cola being one of the global FMCG companies, and we are being the largest producer of non-alcoholic beverages in the world, consumer is essential to us. Consumer is at the center of our business, and Coca-Cola is a consumer-centric company. Coca-Cola always listens to consumer, and we always try to tailor to consumer needs, preferences, tastes, desires, emotions, and etc. Coca-Cola today positions itself as the total beverage company. That means Coca-Cola offers quite a broad portfolio of products trying to meet every beverage need of our consumer. So in the portfolio of Coca-Cola today, we have nearly 500 different brands. So it's not just Coca-Cola, but it's nearly 500 brands from different segments, be it water, juices, energy drinks, tea, coffee, and of course, sparkling beverages that are known, and our key brands are Coca-Cola, Fanta, Sprite. Coca-Cola being the global company and also being one of the strongest marketing companies, we of course are very active in research, trying to listen to consumers. There are different kinds of regular research exercises happening to understand the consumer behaviors, consumer trends. And in today's world, neuroscience marketing is becoming very, very important. And in that sense, companies like Pisano, of course, are very important and valuable partners for companies like Coca-Cola to understand what consumer wants, what consumer expects, what consumer desires. Of course, one of the most widespread tools how we measure the consumer experience is the brand love. And it has different KPIs when measuring this brand love. To what extent your brand, your product is known, what part of your consumers have tried it, what portion of your consumers like it, love it, and ready to recommend. So these are some of the important factors when we measure brand love, and we get brand love scores on a regular basis. Another important point, because you asked how we manage also consumer experience, is to see what are the occasions that consumers are caring about and what are the consumers' passion points. There are different occasions that we see our consumers being interested. So it can be food occasions, leisure, travel occasions, etc. When you talk about passion points, most popular passion points of consumers worldwide are sports, music, entertainment, things like that, holidays. So these are the platforms where we try to manage the consumer experience. Therefore, I'm sure our audience can think of different occasions. When you talk about food occasions, it can be snacks, meat, and other food with which Coca-Cola makes a perfect match. And by the way, the purpose of our company is to refresh our consumers, refresh the world, refreshed in body and spirit. So there are many occasions where Coca-Cola is a great refreshment for our consumers. And those occasions and platforms, passion points, these are the areas where we try to manage the consumer experience.
Thank you very much, Ishad Bey, for the great insight. Yeah, you made a very clear distinction that there's a difference between customer and consumer when it comes to Coca-Cola company. I guess it's because of because Coca-Cola is a retail company, and not all companies are the same. Some of them are business to business, some of them are business to customer, B2B, B2C. So my question here is to Özkan Bey. I'm sure in your portfolio at Pisano you have many different variety of companies, and some of them are B2B, some of them are probably B2C and stuff like that. So the question is, based on your knowledge, based on your experience with your current customers, what are the things have changed when they started using Pisano? I mean, what kind of experience have they got after using your platform?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Musal.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Could you please talk about the B2B and B2C type of companies as well? I mean, some of
separately.
them. Yes, separately, if
absolutely, possible. Absolutely. So basically, let's tie this up and grow the question a little bit. Again, we do work in the customer experience, consumer experience space first, and the second one is employee experience. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do is we're trying to develop a world where everyone treats their customers and employees as they would like their kids to be treated. So that's a big word, like, you know, that's a big mission to carry on your shoulders. So to enable that one, what we do provide to our customers in any of the industries, basically a technological infrastructure, because it starts with tech first, because data is everywhere, but it is about consolidating them. It's about democratizing that data. It's about providing analysis that will uncover hidden insights for those businesses. So basically, and then like, you know, we provide that technology and we surround that with the know-how that we do have, and like a lot of services so that businesses can make that change in their organizations. So there are a lot of day-to-day experience, like examples that Pisano consumes, again, in average around 300 million feedback a year. So that is about the volume that we do receive in Pisano. And, you know, some of the deployments, especially in banks, we don't know the volume because they are on-premise, like the platform lives in the premises of that bank or the organization. So we don't have access to the data. So considering that volume of data, of course, like there are a lot of solutions provided to those customers, like uniquely, we do provide an infrastructure that none of the feedback received from those employees or customers are lost in processes. So we make sure that that is routed to the right person within the organization first. And the second one is it is escalated up to a point that it is being resolved. So at that point, literally, like we're providing those unique experiences to each end consumer and customer that are interacting with those businesses. It can be B2B and B2C. It's not really changing at that point. So what do they get out of those experiences? It's a very commercial project at the end of the day. So whenever you make those investments, whenever you may start providing those experiences, we know one of our customers, banking customers, they weren't like literally even in the top 5 or top 10 for their customer experience researches, and we're working with them for a few years now. They are one of the top ones. Actually, they are the first one after a long time, and they even passed digital bank, which is very difficult to do, difficult to achieve. Another customer of ours, they've been always selected some of the love brands in the market. So there's a lot of outcome of that one really owning that experience with the customers will turn back to customers owning the brand. Because at the end of the day, you integrate that business or integrate that customers into the core of your business processes. So they own the products, they own the services, they own the experience, they own the services that you provide to them. So it is a much more, let's say, a partnership rather than providing a one-directional communication. So it's actually a big change that we're providing to those businesses, which is basically integrating those customers into the core of those organizations. And then I believe that one of the best things that we've done, we also listen to our customers. All the products, all the services, everything is developed with the customers and their feedback. So whenever they see the real application from their side, they are even more motivated to provide that same experiences to their customers too. So it is, again, it's kind of a journey that we are getting into with them. And then the results are quite commercial, quite financial, and successfully applied.
Thank you very much, Özkan, for the detailed answer. That was very interesting. Yes, now I want to learn, get to know a little more about the Coca-Cola's experience. So that's why my question is to Eşat Bey. Eşat Bey, you will agree that one of the major challenges in today's world is the shopper engagement, because there are too many brands and there's like a lot of information. Consumers are bombarded with all kind of information. It's like attention spans have gone down, and it's very difficult for companies to engage their shoppers. So my question is about the Coca-Cola's experience when it comes to this challenge. How does Coca-Cola manage to motivate its consumers and to reach out its consumers and to motivate them to buy Coca-Cola products, to consume Coca-Cola products?
Thank you, Vishal. This is also another great question. Let's talk then about two issues. First, what motivates our consumers to buy Coca-Cola, and then the experience or the engagement as a shopper. So, of course, the key factor is the great taste of Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has always had this great refreshing taste that gives uplifting emotions and that gives positivism. So for the Coca-Cola as a brand, its brand edge, its brand identity is this refreshing moment. It's this positivism that it gives to consumers. And it's been like this for more than 100 years now. When it comes to the shopper experience, there are three principles that are essential when we manage the consumer experience. It's affordability, availability, and being cold. Availability, of course, is important for any FMCG company. And one of the very iconic business leaders of Coca-Cola company, one of the greatest presidents, leaders of Coca-Cola, Robert Woodruff, who actually drove the international expansion of Coca-Cola globally. He, back in 1930s, introduced a concept for Coca-Cola to be available within arm's reach. So that defines the availability as one of the key principles when it comes to shopper experience, shopper engagement. So wherever the consumer goes, Coca-Cola has to be within arm's reach. Affordability is also another important factor. It defines the pricing strategy of Coca-Cola, that it has to be affordable for the mass consumer, because this is a mass product. And of course, in order to retain the great taste of Coca-Cola, it has to be served chilled, cold. Not many know that you can experience perfect taste of Coca-Cola at a temperature of 3 or 4 degrees. So this is when you get the best taste of Coca-Cola. But time changes, and consumer experiences, consumer expectations change as well. And on this context, I have to mention the word digitization. In the current world, when everybody is online, everybody is in digital, this sets new horizons, new challenges, but also new opportunities for FMCG companies. So what Coca-Cola's president, Robert Woodruff, said many years ago, that Coca-Cola has to be within arm's reach. Now it transforms into Coca-Cola to be within clicks reach. Everybody knows that the digital experience grows exponentially. Now consumers spend more and more time online, and they spend less and less time in the shop, actually. If I can give you an interesting data about the average time that consumer spends at shops. For instance, in 2008, average consumer would spend 17 minutes in shop. In 2012, this figure came down to 15. In 2018, the average time that consumer spends at shop is 8. So this shows the changing circumstances, the changing realities. And it also shows that the time that consumers spend in digital is growing. So one of the important challenges and opportunities for consumer companies like Coca-Cola is how to make products from arm's reach into clicks reach. So this is what I wanted to mention. So this is food for thought for everybody. And I'm sure companies like Pisano bring very big value in this. They study, they research, they learn how consumer behaviors change, and the solutions that we can get from companies like Pisano would be very valuable for the producers and for retailers.
Yes, thank you very much, Shadbay, for a very great point. You actually touched a very interesting point that the figures that you have mentioned, we see that the digitalization is like growing, and after this COVID issues, I guess we see more traditional companies moving into this digital environment and trying to sell their products online. So that's actually one of the cases that makes Pisano relevant in this case. I know that there are many companies, many tools out there that the companies use to engage with their customers. So my question here is the core value of Pisano. That makes Pisano different from others. So what is the thing that makes Pisano different, and why should for example, a shop owner or a company switch into Pisano? What makes you unique? What makes you different?
So that's a fantastic question. Again, it's not good that I'm talking about that one. It would be great if one of our customers should be on this call and they talk to themselves and they share their experiences. But usually going through this process, we literally focus on a few points. First of all, I would like to take it from where Alshad Bey left. First one, as business is evolving, it started with physical. As Alshad Bey said, arm's length. A corner shop on the street, retail stores, groceries. So, bank branches, insurance agencies. So it all started with the physical branches or physical distribution channels. And then when that continued, a big part of experience management or experiences or customer engagement happened at contact centers. So contact centers or call centers are still the biggest areas of customer engagement. And then now there is a huge demand or huge disruption coming through digital, as Arshad said. Now it's not arm's length, it's about a click's length, or how people will be served on the digital channels. So there's a lot of development on web and mobile, like cumulatively in total, they can be one of the biggest channels too. And then there is this third-party platforms like social media, voice, like Amazon and Google. They have a lot of products that are going through Apple to the on voice too. There are all these channels, emerging channels that customers are engaging day by day, but the acquisition speed is much more faster than the previous ones due to the technology. So providing that infrastructure, what Pisano provides is a one-stop shop for those businesses. So starting from a physical touch point to a contact center to a digital, a website, mobile application. So any channels that they're providing such experiences to their customers, Pisano have a solution for them. So they may not need it today, they may need it in the future, but the availability of those functions and availability of those channels is actually one of the very important value proposition for our customers, because we always tell that we are born omni-channel, because when we were born, all of these channels were already existent. So we developed all of this born omni-channel platform with the newest technologies. The second one, none of the platforms, none of them in the world is plug and play. We always say plug and play, but none of them is just one fits them all. So there's a lot of know-how and services needed to properly implement a platform. At that point, what we tell our customers is that we're big enough to deliver, but local enough to care. So we're a huge global company, but at the end of the day, we're local for them. So we're always local. We're going to work with them. We're going to work for the success of our customers. The third one is basically our business model. So we don't really look for end-to-end huge projects from day one, but we really started developing our platform and services for the jobs to be done on the customer side. So they can start as small as just, we would like to manage the experience on our website, but then the projects grow into an omni-channel company-wide project. The last but not the least, while doing all of this stuff, it won't take years to implement. It's just a few days to really integrate Pisano platform into your existing business or technology ecosystem and get the result of your experience management study. So those are the 4 key messages that we provide to our customers that they may consider Pisano when they are making a decision.
Thank you very much, Özkan Bey. And yes, talking about tools, now my question is to Eshat Bey. Talking about these tools that we engage and communicate with our customers, I'm just wondering, what kind of tools do you use at Coca Cola to communicate with your consumers?
Thank you, Vishal. Of course, we use a wide range of tools, and this is widely seen. I mean, let's start with the product. Product itself communicates to our consumers. On the product, we have all key messages, the brand attributes. Then you go to shop again, we communicate with our consumers in the shops with different shopper experience strategies. Digital is another very important platform where we communicate with our consumers. Of course, traditional media still plays an important role. Outdoor, another channel, our own employees, the brand ambassadors. So this is the wide range of the tools that we use to communicate with our consumers.
Thank you very much, Eshat Bey. And now I want to move to questions. Our audience have some questions, so let's. I will address these questions to both of you. Some of them are like very specific. Some of them are to both of you. So I will choose and start from the first one. It's about I think the question is about the brand loyalty. So how do you regain lost customers at Coca-Cola? So the question is addressed to Eshat Bey, but I will also want to hear from Özkan as well. So sometimes we lose our customers. So what are the things that you do at Coca-Cola to regain back, to get back that customers?
This is an area where research is very much needed. When we lose customers, consumers, of course, this is something we have to study, whether through focus groups or quite extensive research. We will identify what were the reasons. There have been some cases. I will tell you one very big case that happened in 1985. After being a very much loved drink in the United States, in 1985, Coca Cola decided to renew its formula, because you know the Coca Cola has its secret formula that makes the great tasting products. So this perfect taste that Coca Cola has comes from the formula that is kept secret. Also, by the way, although people confuse the formula with ingredients, because often people say that ingredients of Coca-Cola are secret. No, ingredients of Coca-Cola, just like any other product, cannot be secret. And ingredients of Coca-Cola are written on the product itself. What makes Coca-Cola unique is the formula, the recipe, that is secret. So in 1985, Coca-Cola decided to change its recipe to make a more modern taste of Coca-Cola. And what Coca-Cola saw that a very big number of consumers in the United States started protesting. They were literally protests in the streets saying that please return our old Coca-Cola. So this is one case, very famous case. But there have been also a number of cases when Coca-Cola, I mean, Coca-Cola is a dynamic consumer company. We introduce always new products, new flavors, and because we listen to consumers. There are consumers who want different types of flavors. And in each region, some flavors are more preferred than others. For Azerbaijan, there are specific flavors that people very much prefer. So introducing those flavors may not always be successful. There have been cases when we introduced a new product with a new flavor and it didn't work. But there have been cases when we were very successful. Also, over the last 4 or 5 years, what we see is the global trend towards drinks that have more functional ingredients and has less caloric value. So people now are seeking more drinks that have less calories, less sugar. So that's why over the years, Coca-Cola has dramatically increased the volume of the products that come in smaller packages and with less sugar and even no sugar. However, sometimes, even though this is the global trend, but sometimes we see in the market that people say that, no, we want the old, the formula of your product that had normal sugar. So these are the cases when we have to be even more careful and to listen to our consumers. And to regain those consumers sometimes takes time. And again, as I said, research and being consumer focused is the key in this.
Thank you very much, Eshad Bey, for the great answer. And Özkan Bey, I would also love to hear your insights about these questions. I'm sure you have many companies in your portfolio, and what are some strategies that they use to regain back the lost customers?
It's not easy. So it's a difficult question. As Ashap said, it's a complicated thing. So losing a customer usually is not just about one transaction. So there is a big history of those engagements that result in losing a customer, of course, depending on product and service and business type. But what we do usually say, as Alshad said, we would like to do churn or exit interviews with those customers or employees too. So we would like to understand what was wrong, what was the main reason that they actually left or stopped doing business with us, or they stopped preferring us. And then we kindly ask, is there anything that we can do for them at the moment to fix that experience? There is nothing more that you can do, more than that, because, if customer is giving you the second chance, go and do your best to win them back. And if customer is not giving you another chance, take that data, work on that data, try to understand what the customer is trying to tell to yourself, digest it, and then give it a little bit time, go back to that customer and say, we fixed that, would you consider coming back to us again? So that is how basically the whole process works, but it is difficult. It's difficult. It's one of the very meaningful touch points, one of the very important engagement points in the journey of a customer. But again, this is difficult. So this really requires a lot of work and attention to a specific that point to understand the experience of that customer or consumer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Özkan. Actually, the second question that I read on the comments is also somehow related to this one. So I will just go ahead and with this question as well. So it's about unsatisfied customers. You just mentioned that customers that are giving you the second chance. So the question is that if the customer is unsatisfied and somehow if they express their unsatisfaction, what could be done to regain them back? What could be done to provide a better experience for them?
Again, that happens. So I don't remember, or I don't know anybody that haven't had a bad experience. No, it happens. So we also provide the experiences as businesses, and also we do receive those experiences as consumers. It is better if it has not happened, but it happens. So when that happens, it is about really making that available, making that visible in the organization. So what we had discussed previously. So what we do help is we do route that feedback as fast as possible to the right person in the organization to deal with it, so that customer understand, yeah, this is serious. They really take my feedback, they really take my review, they really take my experience, and they would like to do something about it. That makes a big change first. And then when you seriously work on it and try to fix that problem, and if you can fix that, change the whole experience of the customer, because customers at the end of the day remember some unique moments. There will be a history of maybe 3 years, 3 years of engagement. Let's say a B2B interaction. And then you had ups and downs, but at the end of the day, they're gonna remember some unique moments where maybe you sent them a birthday gift, or when you take them to a unique place. So providing those experiences to those customers that had unsatisfied or unpleasant experiences is literally taking them to the organization, caring about it, taking that seriously and working about it. And then customers really values that a lot.
Thank you so much, Özkan Bey. And Elshad Bey, the same question. I just want to learn a little bit about your Coca Cola's experience in these terms. As Özkan Bey said, that it's impossible to get unsatisfied customers. I mean, you will definitely get unsatisfied customers. What are the things that you do to, provide a better service to get them loyal to your brand once you have like unsatisfied customers?
First of all, again, let me stress that we have to make sure that we provide those brands and products that our customers want, and make it available and make that experience as enjoyable as possible. And that involves quite a long journey, whether it's a shop, store, or on-premise accounts, cafes, restaurants. So even if you have a great product, but a lot matters on how consumer get these products, where it gets it from, how consumers served this product. So for a company like Coca-Cola, it has to work with different kinds of suppliers, partners, to make sure that this product is served in the best way and in the most enjoyable way as possible. So there are lots of factors in this, from ingredients, from taste, from flavors, from the temperature, and even from the packaging that it is served with. As you all know, for currently people care not only about the quality of the product, but also its impact on the communities, on the people, on the environment. Consumers want the products that have high quality, have good taste, that are appealing to them, but also care about the communities, care about the planet. In today's world, to make consumers happy and satisfied is not easy, but the key answer to this is, of course, to keep listening to your consumers.
Thank you very much, Irshad Bey, for the great answer. And there is one more question, which is like very specific to Coca-Cola. That's why I want to read this. It's somehow not related to the topic, but I find this interesting because it's related to innovation. So the question is, what's the global strategy of Coca-Cola in terms of investments in non-related areas, such as startups, entrepreneurship, and etc.?
Of course, Coca-Cola, being a global and one of the most successful business ventures, has a large business ecosystem. So the Coca-Cola system consists of different elements, starting from suppliers who give us the raw materials, the ingredients, to logistics companies, transport companies, our plant, people who produce our products, also people who deliver these products to our customers, to the sales points, and also people who serve our products, people who sell our products. So this is quite a large business ecosystem, and we're interested in making sure that all elements of this business ecosystem, they are up to date with consumer expectations, and they deliver best solutions. And in the evolving consumer market, in the evolving FMCG world, of course, the startups play important role, especially in the context of digitization, because in order to understand what consumer wants, we need to get those knowledge and the insights. And this knowledge and insights often also come from those startups, because currently, to understand the consumer experience, it is not enough just to do the traditional research. Coca-Cola, as I said, is also one of the greatest marketing companies, and the marketing communication we make to consumers now is perceived differently. So whether it is a new commercial, new visual, or new outdoors that we put out, it is important to understand what kind of connection it builds with consumers. Not just, it's not enough now to understand that consumer likes it or not. So yes, for instance, there's a new TV commercial, or there's a new outdoor. You can ask whether how many people liked it or not, but this is not enough. You need to understand what kind of emotions this communication generates. What kind of emotions does your product placement generate? And to understand these emotions, now you need new technologies, neuroscience marketing. One of the tools that Coca-Cola uses to understand consumer emotions is those emotional moments that consumers feel when they see our product. And this kind of approach to consumer experience requires new innovations, and these innovations often come from startups. And not only just on the product level, but it also is required on other levels. How to find good suppliers, how to make sure that your product packaging has less environmental footprint, how to reduce the carbon emissions, how to make sure that all your packaging is recycled. So these are the areas where startups are important for us, because those startups find out-of-box solutions. They find the innovative solutions for the business needs.
Thank you once again for the great answer. I think the time is up. I had some few questions left, but unfortunately we don't have enough time for this. I just want to take the time and thank you again, Eshat Bey and Özkan Bey, for joining us today, for taking your time and joining us today, and for sharing this great experience with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Vusal.
Thank you very much, Vusal. Thank you, Özkan Bey.
Thank
it was
you,
great
Eshat
to
Bey.
have this conversation with you.